Welcome back to episode 25 of Off the Wall podcast. I'm your host, Bobby, joined by Matt and Mello. We're a quarter of the way to 100.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
25 episodes. Well, the Barry Bonds episode 25, and a couple other players to wear 25. Mello, who other notable 25s in Major League Baseball history?
Jim Rome, Carl Crawford, David Freese, Bobby Bonilla. That's a funny one. Mike Piazza, Tommy John, and that's about all I recognize on the list.
That's it. Those are the only players ever to wear number 25. Gleyber
Yeah.
Torres hit a walk-off on
God.
Sunday for Mother's Day. Number 25.
Andrew Jones stunk up the joint for the Dodgers.
Yes. But anyway, this is a special little bonus not really midweek, but a little special edition episode. We had Ryan Lavarnway on for an interview, and we figured, you know what, he deserves his own episode. So his episode we're going to put here. This will be just him. We're not going to be talking about anything else other than what you hear for the next minute or so. But yeah, no, it was a pleasure talking to Ryan as always. We talked about a lot of different stuff. Umpires, how he feels about umpires being a catcher, the automated strike zone, the pitch clock, his Instagram.
Couple fun Ryan stories in there in between.
Oh yeah,
because when you've been around the game for that long, you've got to have some pretty good.
Oh
stories.
Yeah, he's been around it for way long, as he was saying. But no, it was really fun talking to him.
Took a few jabs at me, which a lot of you guys like. So.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, he picked
Put
on
me in my
Mello
place.
a little bit. He picked on us. It was just a great conversation.
Yes.
Like Matt said, a lot of cool stories from Ryan too, but it was a very good interview. Awesome stuff. And here it is right here. Ryan Lavarnway. Welcome back to the show. Two-time guest. First-time recurring guest, Ryan Lavarnway, friend of the program. What's up? Welcome back.
What's up, boys?
Welcome back.
Always happy to chat.
Of course. I mean, you're killing it right now in AAA for the Toledo Mud Hens. What's going on down there?
Baseball's fun when you're hitting the ball, huh?
Yeah, you're on a roll. Matt, you have some statistics you want to pull up, and we'll.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan, you're hitting 344 so far with a 981 OPS. You're absolutely killing it so far. Why has it been clicking so good for you this year?
I had a really hot week 2 weeks ago, and you mix in a little luck when you're also hot. You know, you get the bleeder in addition to the blue or the blast. You know, you get the bloop and the blast. Whereas a lot of times you'll get cold and then you line out a couple times. So I'm sure the pendulum will swing, but I'm going to try to keep it going this way for a while.
Hey, I mean, we'll take it, right?
Yeah.
What's that feeling like when you're on that crazy hot streak and you're up to bat and you just basically can't get out?
It just feels like you just know you're going to get on base one way or another. Yeah. And it turns out you get pitched and you get pitches to hit or pitches that maybe you might not hit feel like good pitches to hit, versus then you feel cold and you're like, man, I haven't seen a pitch to hit in days.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know that feeling. Well, at least I don't. It may be in like my men's softball league or something like that. But other than that, not playing professional baseball. But no, it must be a really cool feeling just going up there and knowing basically you're going to get a hit and get on base, keep raking. It's really cool.
Well, at least you hope. You feel confident that way.
Exactly. Yeah. So where are you right now? Obviously, it's an off day for you.
Yeah, we just got to Louisville. Today was an off day. In AAA this year, every Monday's off. Turns out we're going to travel almost every Monday. So our 3 off days so far, we took a bus overnight from Des Moines to Toledo, from Omaha, Nebraska to Toledo. Yeah, that 12 hours, if you're doing the math in your head. We arrived just in time for morning traffic.
Jesus.
And today we left on our off day at noon to 5 to Louisville. So grabbed some dinner with the boys and now I'm chatting with you guys.
There you go. What a day. But yeah. So I wanted to talk about something that's been a pretty big topic around the baseball world, I would say this season, but I feel like it always is. But umpiring. Everyone seems like they're complaining about home plate umpires recently and talks with the automated strike zone coming and all that. So I wanted to talk to you since you're a catcher. Obviously, you have a relationship with umpires that other players don't. First, what do you think about an automated strike zone?
I have not seen how it's working yet in the other AAA league because they're doing it in the PCL,
Right.
and in the International League they're only doing it in Charlotte, and we haven't played there.
Okay.
I have seen some highlights or low lights, if you will, of I'm sure everyone saw that one where the catcher basically dove for the ball and the hitter like didn't know what happened. The umpire's like, I guess that's a strike today.
Yeah.
So that worries me because the umpires need to have some discretion.
Right.
I think, right? The people that are calling for the automated strike zone are calling for the borderline pitches, not the egregious errors, right? They're saying, so basically as a catcher, I'm judged on how many strikes I get called strikes, how many balls I steal, vice versa. Just the other day, for example, I was catching and I swear this guy missed 4 or 5 calls, and I'm sticking it. I'm catching it real good. And our dugout's yelling at him. And then our manager is about to go get himself tossed in the 4th inning. And right before he does, he calls inside to the video guy who's watching it on TV with the K zone. And the guy on the K zone's like, hey, this umpire has not missed 1 strike yet. And everyone on the field was ready to blow their top. And the umpire was good. So sometimes our eyes are off and their eyes are on, but they're human beings. So that sometimes they're going to be off, and when we know where it is too.
That's crazy. It's weird because, like, obviously coming from a catcher's perspective and a hitter's perspective, like, do you have 2 different views on like automated strike zones, like, or 2 different opinions, I guess? Because obviously when you're a catcher, you want a bigger zone or more.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, I think we all want strikes to be strikes and balls to be balls.
Right.
Right. We want to level the playing field. For the last, the whole game of catching has changed during my career. When I got drafted, you could not rate a catcher's receiving other than does it look right? And then over the course of my career, not being able to judge receiving turned into now that's the most important thing that you do. And that's how we judge you and pay for contracts accordingly. And then now we might come full circle to where if they do the automated strike zone, receiving metrics don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
So we might do that full circle during the course of my career. And I think everybody outside of the catchers that make their career doing that, I think everyone else would be okay with it.
Yeah. It's definitely weird, like you bringing up that example of the guy or the catcher who like dove for the ball and everyone on the field is looking around like, wait, what just happened? Like, I think it was probably that same clip or even a different one where the announcer's like, oh, ball 4 or whatever. And then he's like, oh, it was actually a strike, where everyone on the field and at the stadium is just shocked. But I guess if it goes that way, I don't know.
And you have these pitchers nowadays are so nasty where they're throwing pitches that are moving 22 inches at a time. If they throw it right and it breaks right at the right timing, which these pitchers are good enough to be able to do this, it'll clip the strike zone and bounce, or clip the strike zone and the catcher won't be able to reach it and the hitter will have no chance at hitting it. So I think they have to do it in a way where hitters still have a chance, because offense is already down this year. Fans want to see offense as much as we love watching tickets get punched on the highlight reel. If you're at the stadium, you want to see offense. That's what puts butts in the seats. That's what's going to grow the game. So we need to have, if we're going to do the automated strike zone at some point, we have to do it in a way where we can still have offense.
How many times a
makes sense.
game?
So then-
Okay, sorry, boy. Sorry, man.
So when you're coming up as a hitter, then obviously Bobby said it's 2 different sides to the coin, and you probably much, but like take away the catcher's aspect. If you weren't a catcher at all, opinion of the automated strike zone.
If I was not a catcher at all and I was a hitter, I want the automated strike zone, because catchers are so good these days that they're stealing the bottom of the strike zone. And you see these catchers snatching things. And it goes by me as a hitter, and I'm like, well, that's low. And then he catches it, and I look back, and he's holding it at my waist. I'm like, dude, don't catch it like that. Just catch the ball and throw it back to the pitcher. Give me a break. Highway robbery, trying to get strikes called on me. And I don't blame him. That's his job.
Exactly. Mello, what were you trying to say?
Yeah, no, Ryan, you said a few minutes ago that the last game you had about 4 or 5 that the umpire missed. Is that on average with
No,
every
I
game
said
you play?
I
Or
said
it's
4
like,
to 5. Don't misquote me here. I said 4 to 5 where I thought he missed, and we
Okay.
checked the video, and he was spot on.
oh, okay.
But in the moment, I'm framing it. I'm like, man, I cut that good. That's a strike, and apparently no.
Well, I guess I'm still gonna ask the question. How many times, like throughout the anytime games you play, like you wanna, I don't know, I guess because I know you're a catcher, you're not trying to get tossed yourself, but
Yeah.
how many times a game do you think like where you're like, fuck, man, like what the hell's wrong with this umpire?
I think that's where the subtle art of building relationships comes into play. I haven't been thrown out of a game since I was 12 years old, but I have those conversations on a daily basis of, hey, I think we can call that a strike. And I always use the we. I think we can call that. I think we can grab that. Because I don't know if you know how the strike zone works for umpires, the way they're judged. They have definite strikes, and then they have a little gray area, and then there's definite balls. So in that gray area, I believe it's 2 inches on both sides of the plate, 2 inches up, 2 inches down. The baseball is what, 3 inches in diameter? So you have almost a full ball where they could call it a ball or a strike and still be right. So if you have an umpire that's looking to call strikes, they're calling the strikes in that gray area. You can have more strikes that day. You have them calling balls, more balls that day. So your job as the catcher is to get more of those gray area calls going your way.
So this might be a stupid question, but as a catcher, are you ever like looking to see who the home plate umpire is that day? And like, do you know like what kind of pitches that umpire calls, and like that's why you focus on?
Good question. As a catcher, no, I am not doing that. However, I am not the best in the business. The best in the business is Austin Hedges, who, what did he hit? I mean, you guys are the stat guys. He hit under 200 for the season last year and got a pay raise because he's so damn good behind home plate. I think he had the most defensive runs saved as a catcher. He has a notebook that says each umpire, whether they call the high, low, inside, outside, whether they call more strikes when a catcher sticks it or more strikes when a catcher moves it. He takes notes on every guy and adjusts his catching style per the home plate umpire.
Yeah.
That's the best in the business.
Wow. Yeah. And obviously that makes it worth it too. Like you said, got a pay raise just based off that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he hit 10 or 12 homers, but he didn't hit for average. He's there because he's the best in the business defensively.
Right. That's pretty amazing to think about, though.
It's a shame he hasn't won a Gold Glove yet. We need to get him one of those.
All right.
If you guys get a vote, Mello, you get a vote this year?
Hey, you never know. Maybe, I don't know, what's the requirement? You go to like 5 games or something, you get a vote.
But yeah, no, it's cool because of the data that we have on these umpires too, or not we, but you know what I mean. Like nowadays, how they could get that. It's very interesting. How we literally get research data about anything, anyone.
Yeah, pretty soon, I think the next step in that is they're going to make everyone wear those Whoop bands that have your heart rate. And we're going to have the heart rate variability and the blood pressure and the cholesterol on the TV. And we're going to see who performs best under pressure that way.
And then we're going to take it to the next step. That's going to turn into gambling.
Yes.
There's going to be over-unders and stuff on heart rate.
Heart rate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great idea.
DraftKings.
We have to cut that. We
DraftKings.
got to make money off that somehow.
Yes.
No, there you go.
Anybody, FanDuel, DraftKings.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be sending the tape over.
I was gonna ask if you ever got ejected from a major league game, from any game, but
Not since I was 12, just the one time.
tell us that story.
Yeah, that was before I realized that I was the slowest player running wise on any team I was ever on. We were in a tournament in Las Vegas, or right outside Las Vegas, and I tried to steal home. I didn't have a sign. I didn't tell the hitter it was going to happen. I just got a wild hair up my butt and I was going to steal home. And obviously I was out by like 12 steps, enough to turn around and go back. I get in a pickle. The catcher ends up covering third, and I know I'm dead to rights. So instead of just getting tagged, I'm too competitive as a 12-year-old. I wrap him up, full tackle,
Damn.
spear him Stone Cold Steve Austin style. And I'll never forget, the umpire goes, he didn't call me out. He goes, guess what, son? You're out of here. I had to sit for the championship game of the tournament.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good story though. That's all that matters.
Only time.
How many times have you wanted to get thrown out from a game?
Oh, there's been a couple where I used some choice words in the right order. Whereas if I had rearranged them, I definitely had to be tossed. There's a magic formula where they don't have a choice.
Oh yeah. I was I forget where I heard this, but it was an umpire talking, and he was saying it at least whenever he umpired, whenever someone said the word like you, that's when you would toss them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like if you're talking to your girlfriend or your wife, and I mean, the B word is such a trigger for my wife. We don't use the B word in my household at all. But it's like the difference of you are acting like A versus you are A.
Yeah.
Those are the magic words when you're talking to an umpire.
Yeah.
okay. Well, I have another question. Have you ever played under a manager where you walk in and he's like maybe not in the best of moods, and you're like, oh shit, he might get ejected today?
I got one better, not even because of the mood, but I had a guy that we had an off day the next day, and he had plans, and he told the bench coach, he said, hey, I'm going to get tossed in the first inning and hop on this flight. So he got himself tossed in the first and left, and we saw him 2 days later.
That's amazing. That's awesome. All right. I guess I'll just keep asking questions about umpires at this point because everything
Yeah.
just keeps popping in my head. But I mean, you've been around like obviously you've built relationships with some umpires. I'd assume that like these guys. So have you are there some umpires that you could get away with more, like talking more, like saying, come on, like what is this? Like I'm sure there are, right? Some of them that
Generally, I try not to push the boundaries.
okay.
The longer you play, the more time you spend with the same guys again and again. And generally, I'm not like a high temper player anyway. I'm pretty even keel.
Yeah.
Like I don't want them to call it right. They want to call it right. Nobody's going out there to try to screw anyone else. Right? The umpires, when they're doing their best, no one's noticing them. Just like when a catcher catches a good game, no one notices the catcher. Like you're there to do your job and do it right. So no, I'm not trying to push the boundaries with these guys. But what I have noticed is that the better umpires are more willing to admit if they did make a mistake and more willing to listen to your feedback. We had a series early in the season where we had some younger umpires in AAA, not the best, we'll say. And anytime you had a comment for them, like, hey, I think that's down, or hey, that's definitely outside, because there's some talk that happens, and he'd be like, no, that's right there. You're like, whoa, guy.
Yeah.
Like, no, first of all, no, it's not.
Yeah, I saw that happened recently in the Mets game. I'm pretty sure I saw they missed a call. The home plate umpire missed a call on whoever was pitching for the Mets at the time. And at the end of the inning, he apologized. He was like, "That's my bad. I missed it." And they caught that on camera. But that was a pretty cool moment to actually see like an umpire own up to his mistakes.
Yeah, like the better umpires will do that because again, the only thing they're more concerned about getting the call right than being right.
Right. Yeah. All right. Let's shift gears a little bit.
Yeah.
You're killing it on Instagram, I gotta
Oh,
say.
Thank you.
Big social media star.
Yeah. The social media star. After you're done playing baseball, we know you're headed into the Instagram full-time territory, I guess. But one post that I want to bring up specifically, I know we talked about this a little bit, but was the video where you said who would win in a game, a team of all pitchers or all hitters?
Yeah.
It has to be all hitters.
It's
right?
a debate for the ages in the clubhouse because every pitcher thinks that hitting is easy. And every hitter knows, first of all, how hard pitching is, but knows how hard hitting is.
Yeah. So it has to be hitters.
I think it has to be hitters. Also, every once in a while, you'll throw a position player out on the mound and they'll lob it 40 miles per hour over the dish and get 3 outs in 4 pitches.
Yeah.
It's just a fluke. It's not sustainable. But I think there's more likelihood of that and the defense being played than pitchers going out there and scoring a bunch of runs.
Do you guys agree too?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
There's a universal DH in Major League Baseball for a reason.
That's a great argument, Mel. I hadn't heard that one yet, but one of the comments somebody said was, whatever team Shohei's on will win.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Good
because
argument.
I posted that on TikTok and everyone was like, there were a couple people, oh, where's Shohei? I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a
just answer
theoretical
the
world
question.
we're living in, right?
Yeah.
A bit too serious. Do you guys have any ideas for me for content creation that you'd like to see or other debates that I can bring up in the clubhouse?
I think debates like that, I can't think of any off the top of my head right now. But I think those questions where you go to each player, quick responses, I think that's great.
I was inspired by the Padres Instagram for that one. They had a bunch of like who would win a baseball player with a bat or a wolf. I saw that one.
What about like, I don't know.
We
You
gotta
can,
come up
you
with
can DM
something.
me later
I know.
if you can't think of any on the spot. I know I put you on the hot seat. If you think of any later, shoot them my way. I'll get them filmed.
Okay, yeah, we got to
Okay,
think about that.
personally, I love the last one you did, or at least I saw it today. You and the kid who is new to AAA standing there on the on the stairs with the voiceover. I thought that one was pretty funny.
Oh, thank you. We'll see
Yeah.
if you guys have any funny ideas. I like to try to keep it light on Instagram, right? People need something to smile about, some to not take themselves too seriously. That's what I'm all about.
Exactly. Play some baseball and have some fun while you're not. But yeah. What else? Let's see. I'm trying to think of.
Talk about
I'm
what
so
we haven't
pissed.
talked about yet is the
Oh.
pitch clock.
Oh.
The
Okay.
pitch clock
Yeah.
is game changing.
Ask about that.
Yeah. That's crazy because I've seen so many videos where the batter's stepping out or is not in the box and he gets a strike called on him.
Yeah,
Like that's do you know the exact time that it is?
I do.
What is
I
it?
do. Yeah. So if there's nobody on base, there's 14 seconds from the time the pitcher catches it on the mound.
Okay.
The batter needs to be in the box at 9, looking at the hitter or at the pitcher. So if you take a swing and like lose your balance, you basically have to get straight back in there. Don't try to catch your breath. Don't tie your shoes. Don't do your batting gloves.
Okay.
If there's a runner on base, it's 19 seconds. So you get 10 total seconds to get in the box again. The batter has to be looking at the pitcher at 9. The pitcher needs to start his move towards home plate before it gets to 0, not just come set. So that either the windup needs to start or they need to come set and then break the set to home before it gets to 0.
Wow. That's crazy.
What's the rule on if somebody steps off, if the pitcher steps off or the batter calls time? How does that work?
The batter gets 1 timeout call per at bat. If you try to do it a second time, it's a strike. The pitcher is allowed to disengage the mound twice. Third time is either a ball or a balk if there's runners on base. So if you got Billy Hamilton at first, you pick twice. You cannot pick a third time unless you get him out.
Yeah, so that doesn't really I don't get that though, because wouldn't the runner just don't they know that he could just
Yeah,
steal?
you would think, but it hasn't, in my opinion, so far. It hasn't led to a ton more stolen bases. It hasn't led to a ton of those. Like you've seen the outliers where there's a strike 3 called every now and again,
Yeah.
or a ball 4 called every now and again, but it's not affecting the game on an everyday basis like those highlight videos you're seeing.
Right.
What it is affecting is that we're playing 2.5-hour games.
Yeah. How do you feel about that actually as a player?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing to look up at the clock and you're like, it's been 1:50 and we're in the 7th.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Like I blinked my eyes. It's the 7th inning. The only time that I wish that we could have a little bit of a leeway or a little bit of, logic to it is if it's a big situation and we need to slow the game down.
Yeah.
Like I need to take that time. The pitcher just backed up, or the pitcher's had to cover first and a ground ball over the first base. He's out of breath.
Yeah, and it's like the 9th inning or something crazy like that. right?
Yeah. So I don't know that I can see them ever instituting it in the big leagues the way that it is now for us, but some version of it, because it works, I think will be coming soon.
Definitely.
Yeah, because
oh.
the date, sorry, Bobby, the day that I was there when I got the credentials at Dodger Stadium.
No big deal.
So, yeah, no big deal. Some of the other reporters there had asked the Dave Roberts, manager of the Dodgers, anybody
They're standing
listening
right
that
in front
doesn't
of him.
know.
No big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. They had asked him about like the pitch clock and what he thought about it. And he said that he was all in favor of it.
Yeah.
And then the next question was, what's the sweet spot for games? And he said 245. And you're telling me 230. So
I'm telling you that we played a game in which 17 runs were scored in 2 hours and 26 minutes.
wow.
Never in your life have you seen baseball this fast.
No.
And that's
I had
the big
I had
thing.
to sit through a 5.5 hour World Series game.
Yeah, well, at least it was the World Series where every single pitch matters so much.
That's true.
But when it's in the dog, I mean, I'm not the one that was saying baseball needed to be faster in the first place. I thought it was fine. I came up with the Red Sox where every single game we played was 3.5 plus. And I remember being like, man, we are playing slow. But that's how it was. That's baseball. But now that I have played 5 weeks of 2.5 hour baseball, I don't know. I mean, I watch these games on TV and I'm like, get in the box.
Yeah.
Get in the box.
Weird.
So I think if there's a way to do it where there's a middle ground, it's coming.
Yeah.
Because it works.
Well, this just popped up in my head right now. What if whether in your league or in the majors, what if the pitch clock is there for the first 7 innings, and then then the last two,
Possible.
that's it.
Possible. Or what I can see them doing is saying like, if you've been in the big leagues already before a certain date, you're grandfathered into no clock.
Just
Like
take
what
your
they did with
sweet ass
tobacco,
time.
right? Like,
Yeah.
like David Ortiz, take your time. Jazz Chisholm, take your time, right? You saw that highlight last week.
Yeah.
But then anyone that gets called up after July 1st, 2022, you got a pitch clock for you. I don't know. Just throwing something against the
Could
wall.
be. Yeah. I don't know.
I think
Where
the
is the
idea of
pitch
having-
clock?
I think the idea of having the minor leaguers do it here is that we learn how to play faster here, and then we're the next generation.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Where is the pitch clock? I'm guessing it's somewhere in center field, or is it behind you at the backstop? Or
There's multiple. There's one in view of the pitcher. There's one in view of the hitter. The other thing to take into consideration is that in AAA right now, the guy running the pitch clock is not an umpire. It's a guy that works at the stadium. It's the scoreboard operator.
Mm,
So now I think at the big league level, you got to put an umpire on that clock
right.
because we just have some guy that's affecting the game now.
Yeah, he's
As a
running the game.
hitter- As a hitter, when you're getting into the box or in between pitches, is that thinking about in between pitches, or is it pretty natural to you now where you don't even think about, hey, I got to get back in the box quick?
No, I'm staring at the clock between every single pitch to make sure I don't get a strike called on me. And if
Yeah.
I swing hard, I need to use my time because like I need a second.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I didn't know how quick you'd be to adjust to that. Like if it was a big shock at first, like your first couple at bats, and then you got a little more used to it or not.
I've gotten a little bit more used to just mostly staying in the box, not restrapping my batting gloves because I can be honest here. I was the reason that they needed to make the pitch clock. I'd watch my own video and I'd be like, get in the box. So it helps when I'm watching my own video now that I'm not frustrated with myself, but it's quick. It's quick. And that's the point.
Yeah. I don't know. I could be wrong on this. I feel like diehard baseball fans or just big baseball fans didn't care about the pace of play. It was more of casual. I feel like that's
Well, that's
you think-
the fan base that you're trying to capture if you're Major League Baseball.
no. Yeah. Do you think that's probably accurate, right?
I don't know. I don't know.
I
the
would-
market
I would think
research.
so.
Ask Mello on the market research.
I would think so.
I didn't want the pitch clock.
Yeah.
I was cool with. Then again, I mean, I'm half of the time I'm watching these games or I'm at the game. I'm not playing in it, obviously, like Ryan is, but just from the outside, I personally didn't. I was fine with
Yeah.
how long these games were taking.
But it's definitely going to be nicer to watch a
You'll be
2 hour, 15
you'll be
minute.
amazed. You'll be amazed. You go to one of these games. Come to one of our AAA games. I'll leave you guys tickets.
Okay.
Come to the game.
Hey.
You'll be like,
Oh wait, I gotta fly.
how is it the 7th inning already?
That's crazy. Yeah, I would definitely like to experience it because even like the occasional really fast games in Major League Baseball are like cool. But then if that's every game, like that's very, and I'm sure I would say all the players agree that they like it too. Like at least the pace of play
it's just
aspect.
everyone loves the pace of play until the like one time where it's like I felt rushed right there.
Right,
But that's few and far between.
right. What else? What else are we gonna talk about here? We gotta talk. What else are we gonna talk to Ryan about? I
What
thought
is
there
an
was
off
something
day
else.
like?
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
not a lot of off days, bro. Today was an off day. I had a meeting up in Detroit, so I drove an hour and a half up to Detroit, had a breakfast meeting, drove an hour and a half back, and then got on a 5-hour bus ride.
That's not fun.
That was my off day today.
And
last
then,
week we had the off day where I was on a bus until 7 in the morning, and then I got in, slept until noon. It's kind of it, dude.
you watch any shows? Have the time to watch any
Yeah,
shows?
I'm locked into Travelers right now on Netflix. You seen this thing?
No, I haven't. I have not yet.
It's Will from Will and Grace, my guy. He's a time traveler. What else we watching? Abbott Elementary we're watching, me and my wife.
I've heard of that. I don't think I've seen
Yeah.
it though. Okay.
Got any suggestions for me?
I've never heard of these shows. I'm not a show guy.
You're
What's
not
your
a show
genre?
guy?
No, I watch sports 24/7. That's my shows right there.
Good. Good on you.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of baseball. That's what I've been watching recently.
Got the hockey game on right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's your homework. I need a TV show recommendation and what content you want to see next on Insta.
All right, perfect. All right. We already asked Ryan the questions the first time he came on. So
Yeah,
we never had a recurring guest. We don't have any send-off questions. We weren't prepared.
I'm having a baby in 2 months. We don't know if it's a boy or a girl yet.
Hey,
We don't know if it's a boy or a girl yet.
You have names picked out?
No, that's what I was gonna ask.
Oh, you want us to
Add
pick
it
the
add it
names?
to your home. I mean, I'm not saying I'm gonna use the names that you say.
yeah.
All right, we got it.
See if
We're
you got
picking-
suggestions.
We're
that spark
officially picking out the
creativity.
names for Ryan's baby. Perfect. Thank you. All right, yeah, we'll write that down. We have a lot of tasks to handle. 2 months away.
Under 2 months now at this point. Yeah, right before the All-Star break.
Wow. All right,
Awesome.
that's exciting.
And we got to get that in before the All-Star break because I'm gonna have a busy 3 days
Yeah.
out here in LA,
Yeah.
Dodger Stadium.
Oh yeah.
So Mello, when people drop like subtle brags into conversations like you keep doing, the thing that we do on the baseball field is we do like a little like, does that smell good when you smell yourself or when you taste it? Just take little subtle tastes.
It smells great to answer your question.
Smells great. Yeah, good. It should.
Yeah,
Sometimes guys will even preface it with like, say like, oh yeah, when I was in college at Yale, and like continue the conversation, you know.
Yeah, he's brought up going to the Dodgers media a couple times.
Yeah, a little clubhouse humor for you. You guys can rip them, but it's really just jealousy.
Oh, it
Happy
is.
for you, bud. Nice
Oh,
job.
it is.
Thank you.
I'll
Thank you.
100% admit
Definitely.
it's jealousy. What do you got to do that day? That was.
I mean, I have a job. I have a regular job at Dodger Stadium too.
Oh, yeah.
So it balances out.
So I grew up
Easy.
going to Dodger Stadium. Is it still possible where you buy the cheap seats up top and you sneak down to the bottom and sit in the right behind home plate? That's what I used to do.
Not behind. Yeah, absolutely. Because
Yeah.
I still do that when I go to games.
That's messed up.
No, it isn't.
No,
I
no,
know, I'm
no.
kidding.
There's like a art museum or something on the first floor that
Yeah.
we'd be going down the escalators. We'd be like, oh, we'd point to our ticket, which was in the top, but we'd be like, oh, we're just going to go look at the exhibit and be like, yeah, cool, enjoy.
Yeah, you can still do that.
Wow. And
Bobby,
in
what
between.
about-
Oh,
What
God
about
forbid.
if you wanted to get tickets for a little closer down?
yeah. What? Oh, using SeatGeek?
Yeah, what would you do?
I don't
SeatGeek.
know. You'd use our code ATD to save $20 and help us out too.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. Nice little plug there. Nice, Matt.
Yeah, next time you're gonna plug one of your sponsors, I need you to enunciate better, bud.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting that at all. I wasn't expecting to do an ad read right during the interview with you, but use code ATD at checkout with SeatGeek, save $20. Go to see some games. I don't know. Dodger game, move down, get nosebleeds, move down to the
You
right
can't
behind
do
the
that at
dugout.
Yankee Stadium. No, they'll arrest you, Bobby.
Oh yeah, no, they tackle you. You'll be jailed.
Good.
Yeah.
Have any of you ever understood what streakers have going through their mind? You ever seen one in person?
No, I
No.
haven't.
I
No,
have,
none
but
of you have ever seen one in person?
no, I have, but like I was at the top, so I didn't get to see.
Got it.
Yeah, no, I've never witnessed one. That's crazy. They're 5 seconds of fame and then
I remember
overnight.
when the TV used to show it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They don't show it anymore.
no, because that's exactly why everyone did it, because they wanted to be on TV.
If I said something like that in the clubhouse, everyone would be making old guy jokes to me.
Back in my day, they
Yeah.
used to show it on
Yeah,
TV.
that Instagram reel I posted the other day that had some highlights from Yale and then like 2008 back to today.
Yeah.
One of my buddies was like, was that recorded on the first ever video camera? They're killing me. I love it.
How about, okay, this just popped into my head. From, I guess, because when did you make your major league debut with the Reds?
11.
11. From that time until now, what do you think has been like the biggest change that you've seen throughout like professional baseball? I know that's a crazy
Everybody
question.
throws 100 miles per hour now.
Yeah.
And nobody cares if you strike out 200 times.
Yeah.
I think literally my rookie year, every team had like 2 to maybe 3 guys that threw 94 or higher.
Yeah.
And now every team has 2 or 3 guys that don't.
Yeah. Yeah, every single guy out of the bullpen throws 100.
Yeah. When I was coming up and we would call the other pitcher an average white righty, we meant 90.
Yeah.
And now average white righty is 95, 96.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Even that happened that happened very recently too, I
Yeah.
think. That's within the past couple of years.
Also, nobody knew what spin rate was or perceived velocity, so everyone was trying to throw the ball down, whereas now a lot of guys are trying to throw the ball up.
Mhm.
So pitching philosophy is different. Nobody launch exit velocity and launch angle were not part of the conversation.
Those are all very new things. Since you just mentioned perceived velocity, I don't know why this just popped in my head, but Nestor Cortez, pitcher on the Yankees, he was pitching
Oh,
today. I'm sorry, I had to bring this up because someone tweeted, I forget who tweeted about this, but he sits at like 92, 95. And then someone tweeted today that, I think it was Andrew McCutcheon, that the ball seems like so much faster out of his head.
Yeah.
Like, why is that?
There's different parts that play into it. One of the reasons that Max Scherzer is so good, I know I'm jumping guys, you just asked about
Yeah,
Nestor.
that's fine.
The reason Max Scherzer is so good is because he comes from like my camera's off to the side. He comes from this like sidearm angle, whereas your whole life, if you see someone throw from that angle, what would you expect the ball to do?
Tail.
Kind of do
Right,
this, right?
Yeah.
But he's there, but his wrist is still up. So he's getting backspin and he has very high spin efficiency from here. So it's a low arm angle, but they call that a low approach angle. So he's almost throwing the ball flat,
Yeah.
where it looks like it's going up. So Max Scherzer's throwing what, 98. He's good anyway, but his 98 looks like 101
Right.
because of the arm slot angle and the spin efficiency. Nestor Cortez has a similar, left side, similar arm angle where it's a low angle, high approach angle. So it's faster than it looks. Also, perceived velocity is also going to play into how far of extension he gets in front of the rubber.
Okay.
If a guy's throwing it 92 from 60 feet or 92 from 54 feet, your reaction time is less.
Right.
That's 10% different.
There you go. What a lesson right there.
I'll write that down. Clayton Kershaw, start throwing sidearm again.
I think Kershaw's doing all right already.
Yeah, I think he doesn't need my advice.
Did I tell you I accidentally saw his debut? Or did I say that on the last time we were on this
No.
podcast?
No, you did not.
Yeah, back in the day, obviously, if it was his debut, I was living in LA, a Dodger fan, went to a Dodger game, And I remember thinking like, oh, a rookie. I want to see like one of the guys.
Yeah.
And it was Clayton Kershaw's first start.
Wow.
Wow.
Just accidentally at Dodger Stadium for that.
That's amazing. That's one of the
Against the
best Dodgers.
Cardinals.
Yep. And the funny thing is I was disappointed, and now I'm like, oh, that was kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking back now, it's one of the best Dodger pitchers of all time.
Yeah,
Or
one of
best pitcher
yeah.
this generation.
Say it right, Bobby.
I'm sorry. What do you want me to say?
Another time, I'm just spewing stories now that are
Yeah,
coming
it's
up.
fine.
Another time I was at Dodger Stadium, I got my only autograph I ever got as a kid at Dodger Stadium in person. It was Craig Counsell. He was like
Wow.
the only one that would come over, right? I had it on a program. And then when I was playing for the Atlanta Braves, so it was 2015. That's how I remember the timeline is based on what team I was on. I didn't know the coaching staff, so I was with the Braves. I know I'm all over the place. I'm gonna land the plane in a second. Let me get there. I know our manager Freddie Garcia did not play in the big leagues. I knew our bench coach at the time did not play in the big leagues. I did not Google the rest of the coaching staff. So I asked our first base coach. I said, "Hey, did you play in the big leagues?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I did, but I really only had one good year." I'm like, "Oh, sick, man. That's awesome." And he walks away. I don't think anything of it. You see it coming with that face. Yeah. About 30 seconds later, Freddie Garcia, our manager, walks back. He goes, "Yo, Varney, did you just ask Terry Pendleton if he played in the big leagues?" He has like 16 years. He won an MVP for the team you're currently playing on. Are you serious? So as punishment, I had to take the lineup card out to the umpire meeting the next day. That was like my punishment.
That's so funny.
And we were in Milwaukee, where Craig Counsell is
Wow.
the manager.
Yeah.
So I brought the lineup card out, and I told him, I was like, "Hey, you were my first autograph." And I I thought he was gonna be like, "Oh man, I'm glad I was nice to you. Like, sorry, whatever." And he's like, "Fuck, man, you're making me feel so old right now."
That's so funny.
So we win that game, and we were on a losing streak that year. So I had to take the lineup card out again the next day, and then we won again. And then I was catching on the getaway day 3. I came in from the bullpen early and took the lineup card out for the third day in a row in shin guard. Full catcher's gear.
Isn't that like weird? Just like going back to the Craig Counsell thing, like, I mean, I think I talked about this on the last time you came on, but like looking at guys like, wow, I can't believe I'm playing against you, with you, whatever, and then got an autograph from Craig Counsell, and then you like met him at home plate, giving him the lineup card. It's like weird how things can work out that way. And
yeah, obviously, my big league debut, Mike Cameron was on the Red Sox for that team. On the Toledo Mud Hens is Daz Cameron, his son. Wow. So I'm teammates with 2 generations of Camerons.
Wow. That's pretty crazy too.
Next, D'Angelo Ortiz is going to be coming up next.
And isn't Cody Clemens is on?
Yep.
With you too, right?
Cody's here. He's absolutely raking right now. I did not play with or against his dad.
Yeah.
I know that's the next question.
No. I didn't think so, because he retired before your date.
He has been around. You know what? I also played with Cody Clemens' older brother in the fall league 12 years ago. His oldest brother.
Aren't all of Roger Clemens' kids' names start with a K?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Love that.
That's amazing. I forget who I saw, one of his sons, because I live right by a single A, the blue Jersey Shore Blue Claws, the single A affiliate of the Phillies. I remember seeing one of the Clemens years ago playing there. I forget which one, but I remember. But yeah, when I found that out, that was so cool about all K's. That's such
clever. Yeah, right.
It's amazing. Only he could get away with that just because of who he is.
Yeah.
All right. You guys have any final questions, thoughts? Because we're taking a lot of your time here tonight. I don't know. I mean, we just went off the rails with everything.
Well, now that I got my mic, I feel all official.
Yeah, right? Now you're just gonna keep recording podcasts.
And we gotta get some of those.
Yeah. Yeah, you passed us up. And yeah, maybe we'll fly out. to one of your
There you
AAA
go.
games.
Film a live episode.
That-
Yeah, well,
That would be awesome.
that'd be sick.
Yeah. We're
You
talking
got to do it before my baby gets here or on the road.
Yeah, no, we'll be at the hospital waiting because we're gonna
You'll make the formal announcement on gender.
We'll do a live interview right after. Immediately following. We'll do it right after.
I'll have like fluids still on me.
and then where we tell you the name.
Oh god, that's where you're gonna let me know the name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. So I hope everyone's on board and knows that we're picking out the name. So everyone in your family, just let them know for us.
Yeah.
But Ryan, thanks for giving us your time.
Thank you, Ryan.
Pleasure to talking to you as always.
Always fun, boys.
Had a blast. Thank you.
Till next time.
Yes. Be good.